The South Carolina primary a week before Super Tuesday, 7 Democratic presidential candidates sparred in yet another debate. Yeah, another one. The frontrunner, Bernie Sanders, found himself under attack on issues ranging from Medicare for all to his past statements about Cuba under Fidel Castro. He also, check this out, got the most airtime, almost 16 minutes. Now, a big focus last night wasn't the issues. It was actually the CBS News moderators. People pointed out that Norah O'Donnell and Gayle King lost control, which resulted in basically everyone yelling. Here's a taste.
Excuse me, can I respond to the
Doing nothing is what will happen.
Senator Sanders, you were allowed a quick response, and we would like to allow the other candidates.
Moderator, guys.
Sanders.
So along with many other topics, the moderators asked about the coronavirus. Amy Klobuchar dodged a question about whether she'd close borders to contain an outbreak. And Joe Biden said he'd restore funding President Trump cut from the CDC. Here's Sanders' answer.
We have to work and expand the World Health Organization. Obviously, we have to make sure the CDC, the NIH, our infectious departments are fully funded.
President Trump had a little something to say about that, tweeting that the CDC and his administration are doing a great job of handling coronavirus. He added that if the virus disappeared tomorrow, the Democrats would still say we did a really poor, even incompetent job. Now, coming up at 6:20 or 5:20, I should say, we're going to verify some of the other claims made by the candidates in the debate.